Hey everybody, welcome to a random rant Roundtable. With me is LDG and Sci-Fi Assistant. How you guys doing?
Well,
Doo-doo-doo!
still not kicking that dead yet.
What up, Rizzo? Hello, chat.
And we got FKHC 2005 in the chat.
Someone's
Hello.
last year.
And 20 years ago.
Oh, 2005. Oh, shit. Yeah.
And the
21.
Drew.
Hello, the Drew. Thanks for stopping by.
So we got one main story today. Iran. The regime has completely cut off the internet. In response, somehow magically several thousand
Minimum.
of minimum of Elon Musk's Starlink setups found their way into the country, and in response to that, the regime kind of went bloodthirsty, and anywhere between 5 and 20,000 people are dead, and they are using Chinese GPS jammers to shut down the Starlink.
That's cute. That's new. I didn't hear that part. Huh.
Yeah, apparently the Chinese gave them some technology and they're just flooding the frequencies.
You
They
know, I
can't.
think that's the first time I've heard somebody say the technology in a way where, like, you're watching Star Trek. Remember Voyager, right? Oh, we can't give you transporter technology. Like, it's way above you. You won't get it. You'll destroy yourselves. And it's like now that we're so high tech right now, there are countries that look at our technology and say, holy crap.
Yeah, we have here in the U.S. where literally three corners of the country, the three of us are talking, and then there's places off of India where
Can't hear
not
your
even
neighbor.
electricity. It's not even electricity
Oh, it's like daily.
is
It's like you get
phenomenal.
a daily a lot. And
It's Stone Age.
yeah. Yeah. They treat blackouts like we treat train passes, trains going by our houses. Oh, electricity is going out for the next couple hours. Get ready. All right. Yeah, that's annoying. I got to tell you, working for companies who, purchase people that work in India and Philippines and stuff, that electricity deal is quite funny when your employee who you trust to do their job can't work because the electricity is out on a normal basis.
Don't worry, there's always another sucker, LDG, to take up the job in the foreign country.
I mean, it's just
Yeah, that's the worst part about
that,
India. Indoor plumbing is optional.
right? Yeah, their plumbing should be our taxes, but yeah, no, totally.
It's kind of hard to imagine farming out tech jobs to a place where electricity is a novelty and plumbing is just a rumor.
Oh, they go to the very well developed areas that have a basic infrastructure, at least, with major cities in it, too.
That's all changing. See, one of the good things about AI jobs that are actually being taken are those that we buy from other countries. So that's kind of a good thing. But we're not there just yet, but it's going to get there. It's not going to need Indians or Philippines or just have AI taking their jobs.
It could be a good thing, but
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on who does it. it'll be a bad thing. It'll be a good thing. It all depends how they do it, what they do, and what the service actually provides. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, any company who removes dial zero to speak to a real person can kiss my ass.
I am actually um, shocked that the automotive industry has not gone full on automated, have no humans working those lines at all, even though there still are.
What do you mean? Well, most of the cars being made right now are made by robots, but are you talking about something else? Or I mean, we've had production lines for decades now.
Yeah, most of those production lines, they for union rules, they have to have a person watching the robot. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
there's still
yeah,
50,000
definitely.
plus
Yeah,
United Auto Workers in Michigan.
yeah, and that's the cool thing about it because you do have that physical, like it's not AI talking to somebody, so you still have that need for like people, but it's still reduced compared to what it was before. I mean, it's greatly reduced from what car lines used to be like. When they first were making cars, like 80 years ago.
Yeah, I have
But
seen old footage of those good old fashioned simulations. It took like 5, 6 people just in one station to build up a certain piece of the car or to build a whole damn
yeah,
car.
and there's some companies like I forgive me because I'm not a car guy, but I know there's that one Ferrari. No, I don't think it's Ferrari. There's that one car company that still they could have a machine draw this one particular stripe down the car, but they still have this one particular guy who does all the stripes. And all it is just a paint, like a stripe paint down the side. And it's cool to hear that story where it's like they didn't fire that guy. They could have easily fired him and replaced him with a robot, but there's something. There was something about. I don't remember what it. Do you guys remember that story? You watched that short, the video.
I don't remember that offhand.
There's a car company, and all the guy does is detail the outside of the car with like an actual hand brush, like a special brush, and he does the stripe that goes down the side of the car. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but they could have fired his ass, but they didn't.
I do have a question for all of us here on the panel. Which jobs are in danger or are in jeopardy to be taken over by AI and taken over the role?
Eventually, all of them.
Eventually, all of them, dude.
Well, the immediate jobs that are in
You do
jeopardy.
watch Star
roughly.
Trek, right?
Yes, I do watch Star Trek every so often.
Yeah.
I think the closer would be if you watch Stargate, the Asgard.
Yeah, that would do it.
Or if you saw Wall-E, we're all gonna be
But I mean,
chubby things in hover chairs.
if I remember correctly, like, and Star Trek was full of engineers, but like as far as like anybody doing a job, if it was Cisco's father, it was like he owned a restaurant, but he did it because he wanted to, not because he had to. So I think the question is when AI takes over the world, you're gonna have your fucking McDonald's that's fully automated to get yourself a piece and chop 2-bit burger and fries, but then you're gonna have people who want to actually open a human restaurant for human, made food, and it's gonna be looked at differently. Like it's gonna be a work of passion instead of a work of necessity.
Or a specialty, in other words?
But like you're gonna want to go to have like even let's say AI fixes everything, right, and nobody has to have a job, and everything's done by automation, and we're living this perfect utopia. And then, do you want to go to get some robot hamburger or some guy who doesn't have to work anymore because AI fixed everything and he opened up a restaurant because he makes some really good burgers? You're still gonna want to go. You're like, there's gonna be you're still going to want that, right? It's not going to eliminate the need for jobs. It's only going to eliminate the need to work for money.
Possibly.
Now that might sound off, especially to the high school group, but like it's definitely possible, right? Like if AI can replace jobs and AI can replace companies, AI can replace. It's not just jobs AI replaces. AI replaces everything.
It's
we can replace
human motivation.
CEOs. Yeah, we can replace the need for companies with AI. It's not just the workers. Like, we don't even need the fucking companies. AI can do all of it. Like, literally run the company, run the country, if it's done right. And we won't need to work, and we can come up with some kind of universal whatever the hell. But eventually, I mean, it's going to come down to technology doing everything for us, and we don't even need to work. So when you don't need to work, that means you're going to do things now out of a passion of the passion of the love. You're going to have a restaurant. You're going to be an entertainer. You're going to be you can make a move. Anybody can make a 15-minute badass film with AI, but then you're going to have those films with actors that you actually want to see. It's not going to eliminate all jobs. It's just going to change what it means to have a job. And I think that's what a lot of people are not advertising. A lot of YouTubers are not talking about. They're just doom glooming, saying, "Oh, we're a game over, man. We're all going to be freaking poor. AI is taking over Skynet. Fuck."
I will say this, that AI has helped me. I'm still an amateur writer, but to become a better writer with it helping me.
No, that's a better use of what I use AI for.
Heck, what people use AI for, mainly for fake videos, or well, for
Don't call them
adult
fake videos.
for adult content, for people that have a fetish.
Well, I don't know. You want to speak first on that one, Rezo?
Feel free.
Well, okay. First of all, everything is going to be about porn fetish. Okay, so I don't care what it is. Like, anything is porn fetish. So obviously AI will satisfy that goal once we get there. But I think it's more important, like I said before, we need to look at how it's being used and what it's being used for, and what the people who are in charge of it are doing. Whether or not AI can take over the functionality of bringing back the libraries, right? I think AI, if done correctly, can show the younger generation and revive the thought of libraries. Because when we were growing up as Gen X, we were in this world where libraries are on the way out, right? Like, the technology was not enhancing the popularity of libraries, but I think AI is something that could literally rejuvenate that and even bring a new scope to reading to our children and stuff in a way that we can't even think about right now. But to them, it's going to be freaking awesome. It depends on how it's used and who's controlling it,
I
and
would
that
I
will
would say
dictate
this.
how it's gonna.
I would say it's the concept of a library that you guys are familiar with. It's probably gone the way of the dinosaur. But if I want to be
Yeah.
a realist, a modern day library is probably going to be a huge computer lab with supercomputers in the building. Then people just go type in a computer what the hell they want to check out or look at, and download it onto their phone or laptop or desktop thing, and then you're at the library and you're doing that instead of going and getting a book.
Well, yeah, essentially, the library was replaced with Audible.
Well, a library brought a different aspect. Anybody could read a book even back in the 90s. Libraries brought the public to, like, it brought a yeah, anybody can go online right now and download a book. You don't even need a freaking library. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, but what libraries brought to the game is the fact that, so when I was back in my day, when I was going to middle school, okay, I went to the library after school specifically to meet other people, and it became a meeting ground that you meet strangers in an environment that supported the free exchange of ideas and thoughts, right? So that's all a library can do now. Yeah, you can rent the book at your house. You don't even need to leave your house, and you can do anything from a library. But if libraries were supercharged with AI and technology, you bring that meeting ground that you specifically go there because now you're exercising that right, that freedom, but now you're doing it in an open environment with other people, and that will
LDG,
never disappear. Like,
um,
people
um,
want
L-
to meet other people.
LDG, how are you going to incentivize people to do that when when they basically have a library in their hand called a cell phone, or on their desk called a laptop to look up information and download anything they want. So going to a library or a computer lab version of a library to check out things. How would you incentivize them to go? How would you incentivize them?
Very, very enticing advertisements.
How?
Well, people do have the innate want to interact with
Want
each
to
other.
interact with other, yes.
The key is getting them to interact in real time and in person, not just like over the internet like this.
And the libraries do offer something that an individual can't have on your cell phone. And a library could, for instance, they could afford things that you might not be able to afford yourself. Like a library could be a center ground for augmented reality, where you basically have your own holodeck, but you have to go to the library to experience it and experience it with other people. They can afford the better technology that you necessarily can't afford. So it could take it to the next level. Yeah, you got your cell phone, but I can go to the library, pop on some glasses, and I can be in Japan right now and be in, like AI and AG and VR. I mean, and VR is not even VR anymore. I mean, it's literally just AG, AR, augmented reality, where you literally put on some glasses. I mean, back in my day, you had to wear something so freaking heavy it would give you whiplash. Now you're literally just wearing goggles and you have like
Okay.
two 1080 screens in front of your face.
I'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't get me banned.
No promises.
Okay, I'll try. But you see what I'm saying, though? The library could bring mass technology to, I mean, it can bring technology to the masses that you don't otherwise have, but then add that whole, you're in the public, right? There's a reason why they call it the public square. You're in the public. There's a difference between being on your cell phone and being in, I'm going to, like today, what do you got today? You got people say, I'm going to the bar just to drink some alcohol and get fucked up and feel like shit the next day. But now you got libraries where you could like interact with people in games and really high tech technology and access that for free and, be public and seen. And people are going to want that. Maybe you don't want that, but the younger generations, all the younger generations that come after us, they're going to always want that public. And then depending what happens when you get older, maybe you grow apart, maybe you grow closer to the idea. I know a lot of us right now don't give a flying shit. We don't care if we live in the rest of our houses for the rest of our lives and don't interact with another single person. But that's not necessarily the case, nor should it be. Now, I had some fun times. I mean, not only with other friends, but even with males, females, other people. I had some pretty cool times at libraries, and that's when, the coolest thing on the world was Harry Potter. That's like people went to libraries. Now, libraries is one thing. It's not. There's other things as well, obviously, besides libraries. I'm just talking about libraries right now because I believe that libraries should be brought back into the fold. I think one of the very first organizations should have been libraries to take advantage of AI because they were the perfect match. Like they had all the books, they had the rights to all the books. They could have really went forward with some really nice AI. Right now, think about it this way. If you look at even video games, the first video games were text based. Now, I know you and I might think that's boring as flying shit, but when freaking text games first came out, like literal only text games, like you're telling, I move left, I move right, and you're literally typing those words in, and all you get is some computer telling you in a text what happened after. Those were famous. Like those blew up. Like that was the beginning of games, for God's sakes. And now AI literally takes text games to a whole nother level. Now, if it can do that for text games, God, what can it do for everything else?
I will say this: you can make historical books or fictional books more interactive to get people invested, or well, you did bring up just do the hologram version of a book like they do Next Generation. Create a holodeck version of the book you're supposed to be reading and interact with them or the characters that way. That way you understand what the book is about, and you can participate instead of being okay, I read a boring ass book I don't really understand, and why would I
Yep.
care? And Kiss, like I put in the holodeck, do a program like that, interact with thing.
You make up a good point too, by the way.
What the hell? Like, what the hell is this book about? Oh, now since I'm in a holodeck, I'm actually participating in the book as a semi-side character or a character within the book. It's like, okay, now I understand what the hell I'm reading, and I understand it, in other words.
You bring up a good point. I don't know if anybody else had this thought, but like people think that books are like 2D and then like graphics are like, or 1D and graphics are like 2D and then games are like 3D. But technology today, you can be an author and write a book, but now because of AI and our devices and how we have technology, you can make a 3D book. And I mean that like completely text, no images whatsoever. You can make a book that as you're reading, you choose the decisions that the main character makes, and the author has made enough content to be able to satisfy all the different changes. You're still reading a book, you're just still following a book, but then now the book has depth to it because now you choose what it does and what it can do, what direction it goes to, and it's still text. So I mean, if you can do that with simple text, God knows what you can do with everything else. I mean, the ends are boundless. Like there's no limits. There really isn't. You just got to have companies that actually take advantage of it and like provide it affordably or free.
Yeah, and I would say this: if an author and an AI can work together to create a book like that, the author can. Well, no, I'm gonna. The AI will take some creative control liberties, but then the author will provide the text and the framework for the AI to work with, and then you could do that to write your story. That way, the AI can predict what the after a interactive reader makes a few choices within the first few pages of the book, saying, "Okay, my character does A," then the AI will go, "Okay, he chose A." Then that means for another part of the book or chapter, that means that leads to C in theory anyway. Then or they choose B. It goes on to D, in other words, for a effect. In other words, later on in the book, and so on and so on. In other words.
So you're talking to Choose Your Own Adventure, the book.
So no, not just that though. That's what I was trying to not. I was trying not to go down that direction. That's one possible way, but you can go as deep and as you can go as deep as you want. Like it can go further than just a pick your own adventure. Like a what's the I'm trying to think of it right now. Like a Total Recall, right? Pick your freaking vacation shit, right? No. It can go much deeper than that. Like literally different. And I just don't mean more deeper, like, oh, well, you can be a astronaut or you can be a frick. I mean, literally in the form of the entertainment itself, it can take different directions. I wish I had an example to be able to make this point a little bit better, but I'm trying to think of a good movie that brings it home, but I can't think of one right now.
How you doing, Teague?
Well, it has to be a time loop movie because the time loop movies always go through so much of what ifs or what if the character does this or that.
Well, okay, so let me put it this way real quick. You could have a book of time travel, right? So let's say you do that. Let's say you wrote a book that's like three-dimensional textually, right? And the character goes back in time.
Am I in this?
Yeah,
we
can hear you.
Your avatar is.
I don't seem to have an avatar.
You do on our end.
Oh, do you?
Yes. Okay, so if you want to continue LDG, to not be blunt,
I'm trying to keep my thought in my head right now. Sorry. So what I was saying was like you could take it further. Imagine if you're reading a book that has to do with time travel, and when you go back in the past, you change something, right? The book would change. So like it becomes what you're reading. Like you add time travel to like reading a book. And how that can change in the middle of the book. So now it's not like pick your own adventure. It's more like a text holodeck.
So it's more like Spicy's
sense?
Second Life.
Yeah, that's better than what I was thinking before, but like even further, like the book itself changes. Like you can go in another dimension. Like seriously, like
So basically,
there's already a book like that.
So basically, you want an alternative worlds book or something like what Japan, like the Japanese anime doing. It's called isekai, in other words.
There's already a book that's kind of like that. It's a pretty
like
big
imagine
book.
if you changed the past and then you would actually have to reread the book you read just to catch back up with your new changed past. I mean, it could be interesting. I'm not saying it'll be everybody's cup of tea, but like you could get that. You can't get that complicated on pen and
I'd
paper.
rather just have several different books.
Well, that's what I'm
Did
saying.
anyone
The one book becomes several books. That's exactly what? Thank you. That helps. The one book becomes several books. You get what I'm
Am I the
saying?
only
Like
one who ever
it's like
read
the
Man in the
never-ending
High
story.
Castle?
Every time that you read it, it changes, right? So imagine if you're reading the
You
same
are.
book, but you're reading the new book because of the changes you made when you read and chose previously. So you're reading the same thing, it's just evolving, but it's evolving in a 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional time space loop.
Me and LDG did two ways to do it. You could either do a hologram version of the story where you actually play a central character in the story. You try to follow the beats, but then you have to just be semi-literate and get the plot of the book that you put in as a holographic program. Or you could do the LDG route, basically fuck around with the events of the book and all that, change them here and there, and see how the new book you set up changes events within the story or like within the setting of that book, how it turns out. In other words,
We might have the programming to do it now, but the first attempt at that was a CD-ROM game with Debbie Harry and Corey Feldman from like 1988. You could Google that shit. There was a choose your own adventure VR game with whatever.
That's what I'm
VR
saying.
gone.
You got to choose your own adventure, but that's all that
But it
was.
was not a
choose
book.
your own adventure.
But it was. But you
Yeah.
had, if you think of the computing possibilities at the time, right? Having say 5 choices instead of just watching the movie straight through, that's a little different.
The Netflix
I'm
came
not
out with
saying they're. Go ahead.
I was just saying Netflix came out with a version with that. They called it Banglacloof. You guys remember that? It was a choose your own adventure Netflix movie.
Did the internet code
Bandercoof.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was literally a Netflix video. You have to log into Netflix. Bander something. And it was about a guy who creates a video game, and like during the show you kind of pick the choices, and if you pick the wrong choice the movie ends early and it has multiple endings, and I hate that. It was very linear. No matter how much they tried to obfuscate it so you don't think it's that, but it's that. No different than those games when they came out with the new Back to the Future, and that one company that I can't remember the name of the company, but there was that company that made those games. They were basically build your own adventure. They did the reboot of Back to the Future. They did the reboot of Walking Dead. There was a couple others, but it was just basically pick your own adventure, animation until you have to make a choice, and then you just keep going kind of deal.
That's pretty much every game that they've made since Mass Effect came out.
You realize you basically described the movie Cool World.
I liked Cool World. What about Cool World?
Nothing. I'm just saying what you basically described is more or less Cool World.
You're talking about the Who Framed Roger Rabbit wannabe?
There might have been some of the same animation, but yeah, when the guy starts to trip out or whatever, or Brad Pitt is able, at some point they're both able to go there. But yeah, basically whatever they thought became the story.
Kinda, but like I said, a lot of those games back then, especially those CD-ROM ones, they weren't as dynamic. They were pretty linear.
This was a Brad Pitt and Kim Basinger movie.
Well, Jeremy, you want to try and change the subject before we debate more of this rabbit hole, or do you want us to continue discussing this topic?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about we were talking about the Middle East there for a moment. Iranian situation.
Yeah.
I think we have enough nukes to just solve the situation right now.
I got to say, I'm surprised no YouTuber is going and making a video right now and just calling it out and saying Trump called for all Americans to leave Iran or wherever the place is. And listen, they're coming for you. We're coming for you. Americans are going to bomb the shit out of you right now. We are coming to kill you all. If you're American, get out of there. Like, take it to the
There
next
are
level.
no Americans over
Trump,
there that aren't assets.
Well, no. Well, Trump made a freaking thing to it. Like, he made a thing about this. He said, all Americans get the hell out of there now. Like, right. So, like, I'm surprised, like, no one's like calling the whistle and saying, even telling Iran or whatever. Again, what is it? Is it Iran or is it, what is it?
Iran.
Persia.
Telling Iran that, we're coming for you. I'm telling you right now, our president is going to bomb the living shit out of you. And, you need to do something and then see if that ends up with some kind of, treason or some bullshit, dude.
So you want to give him a pass for what happened last week now? You no longer want him removed from office and thrown in jail for the ICE stop?
Who, Trump?
I don't think we're going to talk about that. Let's leave it to Iran.
Well, for what I hear, the regime is coming close to collapsing, but then they've been seeing that for years, though.
Well, that would just be terrible, because then they would all come over here or go to Canada. And also, this Alberta thing, I happen to know that is where some of the most indigent bums in Canada live. And let me tell you something, we don't need a former socialist here sucking up what little we have. None of these people have the skills to be capitalists, and they don't want to live in a capitalist nation. If they go free, let them be Snow, Kentucky.
I think Saskatchewan is okay, because for every snowbilly grifter we have Suzanne Eckstein, who also lives in Saskatchewan.
She's okay. She's great. We're gonna send in SEAL Team 6 to bring her to America.
No, that's the good part. We'll bring America to her.
I don't think we cannot take in a bunch of uneducated non-capitalists. You don't understand. You've never been to Eastern Europe where you've seen countries.
I didn't say we give them the right to vote.
We have to make a wall. We need a wall first. I don't want them coming here. I don't want them in America. They can have, if they need to break away from Canada, as long as they stay there, they can't be citizens of this country. None of them ever. And fucks no Mexico.
I say we don't give them the right to vote.
Never. Well, I mean, first of all, they're women never, and maybe we can pull it away from our women too.
Oh yeah, that is something we need to vastly reconsider. Things have gotten really, really fucked up since the 19th was passed.
We have not lost. We have only won one war since women started voting.
Yeah, technically two.
What's the other one?
Because we technically won the first Gulf War and World War II.
And Iraq. We've beaten Iraq twice, so the new Germany. That puppet regime we left in place is still there 16 years later. I'm ready to call that a win. They're on their own now.
Yeah, well, the new Iraqi regime is as corrupt as hell, though, from what I hear.
Well, I ain't moving there, so what the fuck do I care?
No, we need to get people to move back.
The old regime was I was against removing Saddam. I think he should be replaced. If Uday and Qusay had survived, they should be allowed to take command. But if there's any Bin Ladens alive, just let them go back there. He ran it fine. They said a lot of dangerous shit, but what did they ever really do? He was all talk.
I will say this: the one thing why it's so corrupt, Iran, man, I'm forgetting the name. I just said it a few seconds.
It's run by
But my point
Cubans.
is that country, its idea of democracy was not there for like 20 plus years before the U.S. so-called bulldozed its way in to try to set up a democracy. They weren't familiar with democracy at all for 30 plus years.
Saddam had won 14 straight elections with a election approval rate of over 95%. You're wrong.
Yeah, they had the same type of democracy that Cuba has.
Well, I mean, the Cuban Empire has had a rough year. We lost Canada. We lost Venezuela. But I think we have a good chance of taking most of Florida.
But just remember what Trump says in the news outlets, I say? No.
Well, I mean,
You got to remember he's racist against Floridians.
I am, yes. And so is Trump.
Well, technically is a Floridian now.
I mean, yeah, if you want to leave New York and try to pretend that you're not from here, sure. But when you hear him talk, do you think Florida? When you hear his accent, do you like this is a guy from Florida? Does he act like a guy from Florida? I take that back.
More so than he acts like a New Yorker.
Yeah,
He's
but
actually
our
saying
stereotype is a little more flattering. Well, I mean, you know what? The problem is this. We get the wrong people get in charge of New York. But remember, the New York Republican Party selected George Santos and rejected Donald Trump. So is it him or is it the New York local Republican Party? If your Republican Party is that inept, are people wrong not to join it? Remember, after they rejected him, he told them, if you run that guy for mayor, you'll end up with Zoran. And they wouldn't listen to him again, and who's mayor now. So they've rejected 3 different appeals for reason from him.
that's because your Republican Party is actually Democrats.
Or they are controlled opposition here on the West Coast at best.
Yeah.
Guys,
in New York,
all
okay. I think he's still in the subway. But in New York, like out here in all 3 West Coast states, Republican is just a Democrat who couldn't get to the top of the ticket.
Well, then tell me this, Germ, for actual Republican voters here on the West Coast that actually are center right or right wing, why do we keep voting for them in power then?
When's the last time you saw a Republican in power in your state?
Well, if you count Arnold Schwarzenegger, over 20 years probably.
Exactly. We have people that have a R next to their name, but they're just elected there for a change of pace. They are as in the tank for the Democratic cause as anyone with a D by their name. Because, like here, in our last governor election, we had a guy named Byrd. Veteran, very conservative, very MAGA. The people loved him. And then the Republican Party completely torpedoed him to make sure that some fuckwit that used to be a congressman got the Republican nomination for governor. And he, of course, lost, like everyone knew he would.
By how much of a margin, Germ?
The same margin that it always comes up, somewhere between 5 and 10 points.
Here in California, it's usually about 15 to 20 points down here.
Let's say our electoral office is a little bit more inventive than yours. They don't count the votes here. They just spit out a number they think people will be okay with.
I will say this: the one thing that we don't have in California is voter ID, and I can't believe they haven't even come up with the idea yet. We need voter ID here in California.
Voter ID should be mandatory everywhere. But in Washington, we have basically the opposite of voter ID. Mail-in ballots I've sent in the ballot with a squiggly line on my name, and they accept it.
Damn.
I have filled out my brother's ballot because he can't see, and I could fill in what I want. I fill in what he wants. Same squiggly line. They don't know the damn difference because they're not counting shit. They're just filing it away and spitting out a number that gets the result that they want.
I'll just come on and ask it. Do you and your brother have similar beliefs, or are you guys totally different?
It varies from subject to subject.
Because if you're voting for him and he says, I did not vote for that, or you're putting in the wrong thing for me, even though he cannot see it, do you ask him?
He would never know.
Do you ask him?
Yeah. On the rare occasion he bothers to vote, I fill it out for him and he tells me what to fill out. But the state sees no difference in it. They can't tell the difference between squiggly line A and squiggly line B. They're not counting it. We need in-person voting, no electronic machines, ID required. If it's not that way, your vote is fraudulent.
I
would agree, but I would also argue that there is a way to have digital ID, digital voting, and everybody should be able to physically go to the location.
You're semi-breaking up, LEG. You're semi-breaking up.
Yeah, you're roboting heavily.
Sorry, give me a second because I'm heading back towards the house. All right. Am I better? Testing 1,
Yes.
2, 3?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, I was just saying that there's definitely a way. Again, if they did it right, you could have digital voting, but not everybody can make it out to the physical locations. It's just, but you got to have the trusted technology behind being able to do digital voting.
Well,
but it is possible.
Well, I think me and Germ can agree with this. Digital voting can actually make it worse because you can put a whole bunch of false information on that and say whatever you want, create a false identity or change your appearance.
You can do the same with paper. You can do the very same on paper. See, the difference is it's like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square kind of thing. You can do any kind of fraud you can do on paper, you can do digitally, but not every kind of digital fraud you can do the other way around, sorry. Not every paper fraud you can do on digital. So you can fraud paperwork, okay? It's been done. This fraud was analog at first.
Yeah,
you can always fraud paper.
It's just a lot easier to do digitally.
It's only a lot No. It's not a lot easier to do digitally. It's easier to do digitally if you know what you're doing. The average person has no fucking clue how to digitally hack somebody.
LDG, what's easier, to change one decimal point in a digital file or to print up 1,000 different watermarked ballots
But
and
nobody knows
sneak
how
them
to
into
change
a
that.
ballot box.
No, I get what you're saying, but nobody knows what the file is. Only the people who know. Anybody
Exactly.
can fake a signature. Like you don't even have to be special. You just have to have a signature like the other person to freaking fake their signature. Like you could trace it for Pete's sakes, but nobody knows where a file is. You go to a voting booth and it's a digital voting booth. You don't even know what the hell you're touching after. You don't even know where the ones and zeros are after you touch the screen.
Yeah, but one person can do infinitely more damage by themselves digitally.
Oh no, yeah, no. One person who knows what they're doing digitally can do a million times more damage than somebody who know. But a lot more people know how to fuck things up analog. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, it's just because you say paper or you say ID doesn't mean you're 100%. And like, I mean, you had people who were physically using your own ID in more than one state, but they didn't cross-check states. So you could vote in more than one state, and they weren't double checking that shit. They found how many people voted in more than one state on paper.
We have people voting more than one time
And
in
dead
this state.
people voting on paper. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
we have dead people voting every year in the elections here. It's just very easy for them to fill out the names of dead people and just stuff it into the ballot box because there is literally just
But that's what I'm saying, though.
there is
Digitally,
the vote. There's like two workers in the accounting area, and they
yeah,
literally bring them in by the tub, no questions asked,
yeah.
and there is no
That's another
signatures
thing
on
too.
them.
There's no when you do things physically, if you're gonna do things physically, then you have to like back it up with the manpower. You have to do that cross checking. Like you can't skim on the freaking physical checks. If you're gonna have physical, then you need to have just as much physical security than not. You can't just have two people there. Oh, physical ballots are gonna fix it, and and just have two people. Nobody's cross checking, double checking, or single checking even. It's just not. It's not going to happen. Just not going to. It's unfeasible. It's unfeasible. It's not reasonable. It's already been proven. Like fraud is older than time. Fraud is the second oldest profession next to prostitution. I literally think that fraud is literally the second job ever made.
Possibly true.
Oh, there's Teague. Hey, Teague.
You off your train?
Train, yeah. No.
Oh, oops. We lost him. Yeah, I would say the only thing that we have closer to voter ID here in California, I mean, and Germ will hate me saying this, but if you count a nationality ID, like a Mexican coming through our border, showing his Mexican ID, if that's worse, hey, he's showing his ID, he can vote, but he's has a Mexican national ID, but he still can vote because he has an ID.
I'm sure your state would try that type of bullshit too.
Oh, like yours is any different, Germ?
We haven't had voter ID in my lifetime.
And I will say this to LG. I've seen videos of actually voter counters skimming ballots, going, okay, yeah, they voted blah blah blah, going like 10 per a minute or 10 per second, going blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah, they voted that way, whatever.
Hey, the streets in New York.
Hey, look, they're semi-clean instead of being piled up with homeless.
That's because I'm downtown where the rich people hang out.
Are we gonna
Very nice.
Are we gonna see you walking past Trump Tower now?
Trump Tower, the closest Trump Tower is 33 blocks away.
That's a bit of a hike for New York. He's not well armed enough to get 33 blocks.
Well, I mean, it's more like I feel really bad for anybody who tries to mess with me because the most dangerous person on this street is still me.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, I did watch some clips on the internet. Are you guys doing the Muslim prayer ritual now in New York since you elected your socialist Muslim friend as mayor? Oh, we lost Teague already again.
Yeah. I know they were highlighting city buildings and for like Ramadan or whatever it is.
Is Teague still with us, or is he?
I should still be with you. I can hear you.
Okay, we lost your picture.
Did Teague just get off work, or is he? Did he just come back from a doctor's appointment?
That's exactly it. Teague just got off work.
Tell me, do you have a concealed weapon to protect yourself in case you get robbed by a robber?
That's illegal in New York. Even if he has it, he should not say it. Mindami has ears everywhere.
You gotta be careful what you say today. Alexa knows when you're going to the bathroom.
But things may look okay there now. Give it 6 months. There'll be jackbooted thugs on every corner and homeless in between every jackbooted thug.
Either that, or the whole city will be half abandoned because everyone wants to leave.
That's the thing about socialists. They don't let you leave.
Plus, the people that want to leave don't have any money to leave in the first place, anyway.
Yeah. Because up here, they're proposing an income tax, which they're trying to sell as a millionaire's tax. The thing is, they want to make it retroactive. So even if you leave, you're not free from the tax.
Unless you know your way around the loopholes, which they do make loopholes.
There we go. I'm back.
Okay.
We're dependent on the city's 5G. What can I tell you? One of these days, they're going to finish building this town. So I'm on 10th Avenue and 23rd Street. Anybody who wants a piece, come fucking get me. Taking on all comers.
Don't
And, as far as Ma'am Tammy goes, could I just make one statement? One statement. It's not anywhere near as bad to be a free American living in the capitalist country with one scumbag politician than to be a slacker socialist living in a completely communist country with only communist fucking politicians like Canada, or as I like to call it, Snow Mexico.
Yeah, Canada is kind of a shithole.
It's basically one big Minnesota, except like more left wing. Remember, their right wing party believes in abortion. Their right wing party pushed that suicide booth. I'm sorry, the self-deletion booth.
Yeah, I would say this from what I hear and see. They're actually far right party, if they have one, is actually considered right wing to American perspective.
Not even right wing.
It's so old that the definition doesn't fit anymore. Check it out. Can you make that full screen for a second?
Let's see.
You might recognize the building. It's a somewhat recognizable building.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Modestly.
Like Chrysler or the Empire State Building.
This is where my grandfather killed Gorilla's great-grandfather.
That is the Empire State Building. And speaking of Gorilla, just wish him a happy vacation.
Yeah, and that's just some gorillas
Did
not. And that's just
he
some
go on
gorillas
a
not.
same-sex cruise? Disney,
Worse, he went on a geriatric cruise.
Disney
He went on a
Star
geriatric
Wars.
cruise.
Hey, you know what? They market to them. I can imagine him on a Disney, like, all-gay, geriatric Star Wars themed cruise. Like, welcome to the Disney gay cruise, where you may go a bit too far in a few places, and you can't undo it, but you can diminish the effect somewhat.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you hear these New Yorkers? They're authentic, free-range New Yorkers. Do you hear them?
Yeah, we can hear him.
Yeah, those were a bunch of very hot women.
Just smile and wave, Teague. Don't be too creepy onto them.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm covered in blood here. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
That's okay. That's not abnormal for that city.
No, but I mean, it's not good to pick it up with. It's O positive. It's so bland. I could get some B or something else, but I mean, universal donor blood just doesn't do it in New York anymore.
Oh, yeah, hey, Teague, are you
By the way,
close
here, you
to...
got to see this. Have any of you guys seen one of these? How insane is that?
What is that, a semi-homeless camp in front of an apartment complex?
No, it's a Google Prime powered delivery cart. I'm sorry, it's an Amazon Prime delivery vehicle. Look. See?
Are you allowed to touch it without getting your hand cut off?
I'm not going to touch it because it's probably filled with things that someone would beat me up to protect, right? It's Amazon.
Yeah.
So, Teague,
At least you still got the drivers in those.
So, tell me, Teague, are you near the red light district that like every city has over there?
Unfortunately, Miami has closed down the red light district and replaced it with a mosque. But you know what? I saw this chick over there. She was dressed so seductively. She was showing like 4 inches of face. I could see all of her eyebrows, man. I was so turned on.
You joke, but that's actually how they think.
You know what? Why have Somalis on welfare when you can just go get a hijab? I got news for you.
Meanwhile, intelligent places are outlawing them.
By the way, you'll find out if they do detain these Somalis. You're going to find out that a lot of them have been here 3 times. You come here for 5-6 years, you run up $1 million in debts. You go back to where you came from, and then like Ilhan Omar comes back as Omar Ilanis or whatever. Like Ali Muhammad then becomes Muhammad Ali, gets a new social security number, and like blows up his credit again. Goes back to his village in Jordan and is like chants death to America with all the money he stole from us, and becomes the most loved guy in town. That's how you become somebody.
Well, yeah, there's a guy over in Minnesota who was defrauding the government of Minnesota, and he ran for warlord back in Somalia.
I respect the warlord game, but I don't respect the embezzlement. You got to give it up to his warlord game, though. Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, it turns out the United States government, in some way, shape, or form, is funding about 1/3 of the world's economy. Not directly related to us.
Well, we do.
I mean, first I'm waiting for the proof of the Hamas camp in Venezuela. You know, we went there to stop that, and I can't wait to. Are the new detainees from Hamas at Gitmo yet? because we were promised that they would put a stop to that.
It was more the cartels, not Hamas.
Aside from
Hamas did
Maduro,
business
who's in
with the
jail.
cartels.
Well, how come we haven't struck Hamas then?
Because they're not actually in Venezuela. They do business with Venezuelan cartels. At least they did until new management was put in.
Now
Yeah.
they do business with American cartels. Fucking your cartels and your crime lords are ours now. We will run the world through their influence. You know what, Germ? I think that now that we have these Venezuelan drug lords under our sway, there's probably a huge market for that product in America. What do you think?
I don't know. They're looking at losing a lot of that growing land to Del Monte.
Seriously?
Yeah, the oil companies are taking oil over the oil industry, and Del Monte's over there converting the poppy growing lands into cash crops.
Well, here's a place I like to trade. It's fun.
Your local liquor store.
If you dig in the picture, you'll see it actually has a funny enough name for New York. Can you see that?
We can't read that.
Oh, it's the Trailer Park Lounge and Grill. It's right out of a David Lynch movie.
And you just gave that place some publicity with your phone camera, being on YouTube, and they're probably grateful for that, or they will either hate you for that.
Well, I mean, there's a mentally ill, morbidly obese fat man in Canada trying to get a hitman to 8th Avenue and 23rd Street like there's nobody's business, except that, he would have to be able to calm down and have a job first, and we know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that taking a hit on someone is usually very expensive.
Especially when
Unless you
you're
know the
taking a
right
hit out
Puerto
on the
Rican guy.
or Cuban.
Yeah, Cubans will take the job, finish the job, not so much.
If anybody wants, and if there's interest in this, I would start a crowdfunder so that the morbidly obese, mentally ill America hater in Canada can come down here and see it firsthand and meet me at Gleason's gym for a bout. How about that for a fundraiser? Then you can go back and use your socialist medicine. It's not like I can beat your brains out, and you'll never be able to put your heart into it. And we know there's nothing to your so-called spine. So, I mean, come on down here, fat boy.
Unfortunately, immigration has been ceased from Canada. Too many Canadians coming down here and take advantage of the system. They're on a list
again,
with the Somalis.
Well, I mean, what's the difference?
At this point, not a lot, because there's more Somalis and Indians in Canada than there are Canadians.
That's why I don't want to be part of America.
But we've got a solid hour, so I think we can call it there. Teague, what you got coming up?
All right, tomorrow I don't know exactly what's going on, but when I do figure it out, as I burst through the door into my home, I will probably go live with whoever's around, and I think sometime between 7 p.m. and midnight. So nice big window for you there, but we will probably have our live Academy reaction, and we'll be back this week with a Star Trek show where we're not going to attack anyone's character or mock anyone else's show, although there might be a few salty things said.
That's okay. Sean and I will be ready with the censor.
And I believe you'll also have a chance for the last 2 hours of our show and for the next 9 hours to watch Captain Jilly and the 13-Step crew. as they embark on their journey first towards rock bottom and then eventually, hopefully, to recovery.
And I believe we'll be doing the last review of Landman on Sunday.
Review for this season. We'll see what they can put together. It seems like it was really pulled apart bad, but we'll see if they can do something. By the way, this is one of the Ghostbusters buildings.
Mm.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So who are you
The
gonna
roof
call?
is always fake. The roof is always fake. That's a set, but this is one of the buildings, and then the sidewalk level of that is something else.
Very nice. Dan, what
I
you
think
got
I'll give you
coming?
guys a little treat on the way out.
All right. Well, as for me, Sci-Fi Sit Down, starting later tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be doing my continued watch party with my co-host if he's up for it. And I do my live streams usually on Saturdays between 2 and 4 p.m. Pacific time. I do crush stream ideas with Resolute Sherman Gorilla's random plots if they want. They usually do nice guys about that. And I do have a secondary channel called Old War Sorcerer Dan. That one I cover in Japanese anime and cartoons in general. Right now we're in the middle of Shield Hero Season 1. And I do the watch parties on Fridays, 8 p.m. Pacific time. But with Gorilla out of town, I may be able to shift the schedule a little bit if Germ will allow it. I'll talk to him with backstage about that. And I do have a new channel called Sci-Fi Story. That one I cover different sci-fi franchises of characters, movies, and lore. I am planning on to merge that channel with my Sci-Fi Sit-Down channel eventually. Beyond that, every new watch art and watchmaker says to make more content for you guys. Hopefully make a few dollars off YouTube. Until next time, I'll turn over to Jeremy before he falls asleep or LDG falls asleep.
LDG, do you have anything you want to shell out before we go?
Is
If
he
you're
near
there,
you?
LDG? He's probably smoking. But we'll be back here on Saturday for The Purge for the Saving Star Trek watch party. And we'll be finishing up Landman Season 2 watch party at 4 p.m. Sunday. Thanks for
I'm
being
sorry,
here.
you guys closing up. Take it easy,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for having me. Yep, sorry about that. Yeah, no worries. Fun times, man.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.